Hello, everybody, and welcome to Week 17 of the NFL season. We're almost to the end here. A lot of playoff implications this week. This is Chalk Talk. We're going to go in our first episode game by game, go through the spreads, give out our picks and our locks, of course. This past week, what did we have here? I went 7-9, so not so hot. I cooled off there. Our guest went 6-10, and Corey, you went 8-8.
8-8.
Nice.
One on the lock.
One on the lock, and Alex went 9-7. But we unfortunately both missed our locks. And Nick still is dealing with the COVID, but maybe
back from COVID protocols. I got to say the Chalk Talk protocol is pretty intense. Corey was all upset. He thought he might get it for me over FaceTime here. So, had to sit last week out, but I'm back feeling better than ever and ready to go.
Maybe you'll finally hit your lock this week.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I needed. I just needed a little COVID bug.
A little COVID cave. Coming out of the cave hot.
Coming out of the cave, ready to go.
Forget the brain fog. It's all about the clarity. Now, I actually got to watch a lot of football. I'm lucky I got COVID when we had like 8 out of 10 days with NFL football. So that was, nicely timed by the COVID bug there.
Well, we got another massive slate because we don't even have Thursday. We don't have Thursday night football this week. So now we just have a ton of games to go over here. We'll start off. We have the Giants going to play the Bears. Probably the ugliest, worthless game of the week. But we'll start off with Alex here. What do you think here?
Yeah, last week went against my Bears, and look what happened to me then. So this week, under a touchdown, the Giants are so bad. The Bears are not good, but the Giants are so bad. I'll roll with the home team here, -6.
Is Nick Foles playing this week again?
That I think it might be back to Fields.
Yeah, I was going to say we have QB issues on both teams.
Which you'd think, after that they just let full, but it's their rookie and they don't want to make it all confusing. So I would think, that I could see them going back to Fields, even though it probably should be Foles. But
Matt Nagy gets his shiny toy back for 2 more games before he's kicked to the curb by the Chicago Bears franchise. I think I'm going to go. I went with the Bears last week. They looked, Nick Foles looked pretty good. Their defense was really good against Seahawks at home. Just surprised. I wasn't surprised how well their defense played. I'm surprised that they won the game. And obviously going for the 2 helped them, because if it would have gone to overtime, I don't think the Bears would have had enough fuel to cover that game. So I think I'm going to go back to the well here. I think I'm going to take the Bears just because, the Giants are playing Jake Fromm again, or are they going with Glennon?
They said they're going to mix them up.
Yeah.
Well, that's just a disaster waiting to happen. So
when you've got 2 QBs, you've got no QBs.
Yeah. So give me Bears -6 here. They're just better defensive team right now, and their offense looks better than the Giants, who have all these weapons and can't seem to figure out how to get them the ball.
Nick?
Yeah, I'm with Corey on this one too. I like the Bears -6. I think, when I was looking at this game at first, it was quite concerning when I said this was going to come down to if Mike Glennon was playing the whole time. Never thought I'd say that, but I think Glennon probably gives him a better shot than Jake Fromm from State Farm. So, I think Fromm's probably got to be one of the worst QBs in the league. So I don't see them putting up much points at all here. So I like the Bears. I think they got their future to play for, where the Giants are just they don't even know where to go right now. So
yeah, I think I was on the Bears last week, but I don't think I can lay 6 points with this Bears team. And if it was Foles, it would be a little closer for me. But if it's going to be Justin Fields, I'm fine with getting plus points with the Giants. I don't think, I think the Bears are probably slightly better, but not 6 spread points better So I'm just going to go with the points here and take the Giants. I think Kadarius Toney's back this
It
week.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, but he's I don't know. I just the Bears. I just can't lay. I can't do it. I can't lay 6 points with the Bears. So especially in a 37.5 point total. Like I just the Giants come out to a 7-0 lead early. That's gonna be really hard to cover. All right, now we got the Jags going into New England. Very lopsided game here, lopsided spread. FanDuel 15.5 on DraftKings 15. We'll start out with Nick on this one.
It's a lot of points, but I think it's for good reason. The Jags are even post my area. I don't know if they're going to be able to do too much this year, and I've seen the Patriots put up a ton of points and beat up on the Browns, so I'm afraid to bet against them, to be completely honest. So even if it is 16 points, I'm going with the hot hand of the Patriots right now. Looking for a playoff push. Maybe they try and mix it up, get some new plays in there, get them ready for the playoffs. So expecting a big game out of them.
I mean, they're not really hot. They've lost 2 in a row. So, but with that being said, I mean, they did face 2 tough.
Hotter than the Jaguars.
Yeah, I mean, the Jaguars are trending the wrong way.
They just lost to the Jets.
Yeah. But
they need a bounce back.
James Robinson tore his Achilles as well.
Yeah, so that really hurts, unfortunately, after being benched and then coming back in with no Urban Meyer, and they can't pull out a victory, and then James Robinson just cherry on top, blows out his Achilles in the first quarter. So here, I mean, 15.5 points is so many points in the NFL.
Yeah,
it truly is, and I feel like, man, I want to take the Jaguars, but they're just not good right now, and they have no offensive weapons, no James Robinson,
Trevor Lawrence has looked so bad too.
Yeah, he's not looked good at all. So I think here, I'm going to take the Jaguars in the points. I don't know why. I think it's way too many points. That's my only concern. I don't know what the weather looks like that day. Maybe up in Boston, it's going to be a little cold and snowy. And I think the Patriots obviously win, but I don't think they cover.
I think I have to go with the Patriots coming off of 2 losses. I know it's a lot of points, but this Jaguars team is so bad. And the Patriots, they need to win some games here at the end. And I don't think they're going to let up here. I think they're just going to keep their gas on the pedal this game. They're going to pound it on the ground. I think Mac Jones will have a nice bounce back game. This is going to be ugly, I think. And I think the Patriots can absolutely dominate them. So I'm going to take the 15 points and go with the Patriots.
Yeah, I'm with you there, PB. Jaguars still going for that number 1 pick and just lost their best offensive weapon. They got no kind of direction all season. So
they're like still hiring, aren't they? Like in the process of still trying to interview coaches. Like they are all over the place.
That actually just started this week. They're allowed to start.
They're already thinking about next season.
Yeah.
There's a lot of teams like that.
Yeah, they've definitely packed it in, losing out these next 2 games to get that number 1 pick. Give me the Pats. I don't care how many points it is.
All right. Next game, we have the Buccaneers going into New York to face the Jets. And the total of the game, it's not right now. It shows it at 45. I saw 37.5 and I was like, that is crazy low, but it looks like it's at 45 right now. We'll start out with Corey on this one.
I mean, Brady just beat the brakes off those Carolina Panthers and that good defense. Jets do not have good defense whatsoever. Bucs are still going for that number 1 spot in the NFC. I think it's just Brady's time again. He's going to show us why he is still the best quarterback in the NFL, or one of the best quarterbacks.
You actually think that?
He's one of the best quarterbacks.
The best
you said the.
I corrected myself and I said, or one of the
best. He has the best stats. Most touchdowns, most yards.
I'm sorry. I don't. Okay, go
But
ahead.
I'm taking the Bucks minus 13 here. They did. I mean, Mike Evans should be back for this game. If he's not, I don't think it really matters. They showed last week it didn't matter against a pretty stout Carolina defense, and now they're playing the Jets. Give me Bucks.
Alex.
Yeah, I agree with you, Corey. Similar to last matchup, the Jets have packed it in for the year. Bucks still looking to get that number one spot, and in a similar fashion with the Panthers last week, like the Bucks didn't even really look all that good, and they still won 32-6. So this team's very capable and has had double-digit spreads all year against better teams than the Jets. So yeah, Bucks minus 13 here.
Nick.
I was a little concerned at first that the Bucks have a ton of injuries. It could potentially just be AB and Gronk as far as their starting playmakers. So they're missing Matt Godwin and Evans potentially. So I think even with that, you can't stop Tom this time of year. It was a little tempting just with all their injuries. I think, it's not really going to be a close game. So guess I go in favorite for a third year in a row.
Yeah, I'll be on the fade Brady train once again, taking the Jets plus 13. The Bucks will be without Godwin. It's possible Evans will be out. Their other receiver, it's like one of the third string. I don't know. They were playing, what was his name? Cyrus something?
Didn't matter.
Cyril, whatever. Then now on their defensive side, they're going to be missing Jamal Dean, Sean Murphy, Burnett, Levante David, Antoine Winfield, Shaq Barrett. Like their
JPP.
defense.
They got a ton of injuries.
Their defense
is injuries
decimated. And Zach Wilson, I know they were playing the Jaguars, but the Bucks defense is like just on par probably with the Jaguars defense right now. So I don't know. You could see Zach Wilson and Elijah Moore, I think, is coming back in this game.
Is he?
I think so.
Wait, are all those injuries or is that COVID news?
No, a lot of those are injuries.
A lot of injuries.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll take
Bucks are getting wrecked down the stretch here. So I'm going to take the points at home in New York with the Jets.
So you've bet the Giants and the Jets now, PD.
I have, but I've bet their points and not their team. I don't think they win.
Just say
it's kind of the same.
Just say.
I don't think it's the same.
Just their team with a handicap. Let's be honest.
Exactly. Yeah, just like Corey took the Jags against the Patriots. He didn't bet the Jags. He bet a number. Next game we have the Falcons going into Buffalo. Man, this seems like a big mismatch to me. It looks like the spread is currently at 14.5 in favor of the Bills. We'll start out with Alex on this one.
Yeah, I'm going back and forth on this one in my head just because 2+ touchdowns. The Bills looked awesome last week against the Patriots. Josh Allen probably last week was the best QB in the NFL against a really good defense. Part of me wants to
Joe Burrow. Hang on, I forgot. We have to put Joe Burrow at the top there.
Yeah. I mean, we don't need to argue. The two both put on a hell of a performance.
Yeah, they did. That was the Patriots defense is pretty good.
Yeah. Man, I hate taking these giant spreads on all three of them. And I think for that reason and that reason alone, I'm going to take the Falcons and the points here. I mean, the Bills don't lose this game, but with 3 double-digit spreads in a row, I feel like I got to take one that's not the favorite. So I'll take it here. I'll go Falcons plus 14.5.
Yeah, I just don't think this is. If the Falcons were at home, I'd be a little more concerned about the spread. The Falcons actually just got their first victory in their stadium this entire year, so they're better on the road. So it's not a bad pick, Alex, but it's the Bills at home, Bills Mafia. It's gonna be a cold game. Falcons play indoors. I know NFL players, can adapt for playing whatever weather situation they are, but you can say that, but it's different being out there every week and practicing in that weather. So I just like the Bills here. They're rolling. And if they lose this game, they lose the AFC East. I'm not saying, obviously, I think they're going to win. I don't think there's a shot at them losing this game. But again, the Falcons offense it's looked better, but their defense it's okay. But the Bills defense is a different monster and their offense is clicking right now. So give me Bills minus 14 here and a half.
Nick?
Actually, my favorite bet of the week is right here in this game, and it's the over-under. It's only at 44. I think the Bills could easily put up like 30 plus points. So the Falcons just have to put up like 14 for this to cover the over-under. So
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite ones of the week. I think this is actually, I was most surprised by this line, actually. I think the Falcons are actually playing good for the Falcons, but I think that'll be within 2 touchdowns for sure. So I like the Falcons here.
I'm going to be on Corey's side here. This is a double-digit favorite. I'm willing to lay the points. When Josh Allen gets hot, when this Bills team gets hot, I mean, they trounce teams. So they beat them by sometimes like 30 points. And the Falcons are a huge mismatch for the Bills, I think. You know, they're not the best running team, which is probably how you attack the Bills right now. If you do attack them, I just think that, and the Josh Allen is just going to torch. I mean, yes, it's AJ Terrell you kind of avoid, but anywhere else on the field, you can just absolutely smoke the Falcons. So yeah, I'm on the Bills. You can get at minus 14 on DraftKings. So I would be willing to lay the 2 touchdowns there. Next game, we have the Chiefs going into Cincinnati. The Chiefs have been on a roll. The Bengals have been on a roll. I don't know. I know the Chiefs have won a bunch in a row. Have the Bengals? I know they might have lost one in there.
The Bengals, let's see here. They're up and down this year. They've beaten the Ravens, Broncos, and then they lost to the 49ers, lost to the Chargers.
Oh yeah, that close. Yeah, that's right. Okay, well, we have a 5.5 point spread in favor of the Chiefs. But what do we think here, Nick? We'll start with you, the biggest Mahomes fan there is.
Mr. Overrated. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think this will be a good game. Kind of like an early playoff type of matchup, I think. So I think it'll be close. I like the Bengals plus 5.5 in this one. Just seeing how Burrow and that team is clicking on offense. It'll be interesting to see how they do against the Chiefs. But I think, Bengals are at home, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that helps him a lot. I really don't think I'll ever bet against the Chiefs at home again. So I like that, since he's got a home field advantage, they're coming off a huge breakout game. And I think they keep the momentum and, keep it a close game. So I like the 5.5 on my side there.
So this is a spot. It's really, really sucks that the Bengals have to play the Chiefs at this point in time in the season. The way the Chiefs are moving the ball, their offense is clicking. I mean, they played extremely well last week without their best offensive weapon and, Travis Kelce. I just don't think this is a spot where it matches well. Well, let me take it. So I guess the Bengals are pretty good at throwing the ball, and the Chiefs are a little bit banged up in the secondary, and they give it up via the, passing. So I don't know. It's hard to bet against what the Chiefs are doing right now. This is a spot we always talk about where people regress. I just don't see the Chiefs regressing right here. And I think they keep a hold of the number 1 spot in the AFC. And I actually think that this is, I just don't see that the Bengals can keep up with. They have the weapons, but I don't think, I'm taking Patrick Mahomes over Joe Burrow, in a head-to-head matchup every single day at this point in time in their careers. I don't think Joe Burrow has ever won a huge game in the NFL. This is going to be his first one. And I don't think he has.
You don't think beating Lamar you don't think that was a big one?
No, this means so much more than beating Lamar. This is.
But I'm just saying, like at the time, like when they won 41-17, when Lamar was in, that was I thought that was pretty big.
I mean, he didn't really have to do anything that game either. So, I mean, and then last game they were playing the Ravens practice squad team. So I don't really chalk.
He's thrown for 950 yards against the Ravens this year.
Yeah, the Ravens are one of the most injured teams in the NFL. So
Not the first time they played though. Like he really torched that team.
No, I know. I mean, even then they've been banged up this entire year. So
It's one team. That's one team. I mean,
yeah. So I'm like I said, I think the Bengals are trending in the right direction as a franchise. I don't think that they're yet. They're just inconsistent for me, and I think this is a spot where Zach Taylor is still their head coach, and on the other side is Andy Reid. Andy Reid is a Hall of Fame coach. Zach Taylor is just holding on to his job by like a shoestring, and these wins over bad teams are just covering up what he can't do, which is coach. He's not a very good coach. So give me the Chiefs here -5.5.
Yeah, I agree with you, Corey. Bengals definitely trending in the right direction. I think they maybe win this game in a year or two, but I still think they're too young for this spot, week 17. Maybe earlier in the season they pull it off. But under a touchdown, I'll take the Chiefs. But I think that this game's going to be back and forth, a lot of points. And when I'm looking at both sides of the ball, if it's a matter of points and a matter of a shootout, I'm going to pretty much take the Chiefs over anyone else in the league. So give me Chiefs -5.5.
So Alex, I know you're on the Bengals to win the division. Are you then thinking that they win it next week against the Browns?
Yes.
Okay. Because they have to win one of these two games to win the division.
Yep.
I think it could honestly come here. I've been on the Chiefs. Well, I've been on both these teams all year. So now like seeing them play each other is going to be awesome to watch. I think this game goes one of two ways. I think it's going to be an absolute shootout back and forth. And I could see either one of these teams just barely winning, or I think the Chiefs roll the Bengals. And that's because I think that their pass rush, if it's effective this game against that Bengals offensive line, that's when you'll see the Bengals run into trouble and kind of collapse. But I'm leaning towards this game being more of a shootout, in which case I think I'm going to take the points, the +5.5 with the Bengals at home. I think there's going to be two potential shootouts this week. We'll get that one's the next game we'll talk about, but I think this is one of them. I think this could be a really good game. And I think I got to go with the Bengals and the points here. I don't think the Chiefs have faced, an offense quite this powerful recently. And they lost to them. Well, they beat them and lost to them.
Yeah, 1-1.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's funny like how, it's just like you love Joe Burrow so much and you love Patrick Mahomes, and you're picking Joey B in the points.
Yeah, I got to take the points with them because I do both these quarterbacks I think are incredible.
Yeah, but what happened? Like 4 or 5 weeks ago, they got absolutely splattered by the Browns defense, and Joe Burrow looked terrible.
That's my worry. That's why because the Browns can bring a pass, like they can get to the quarterback, and that's what if this game goes south for the Bengals, that's how it's going to happen. I don't think if they can protect Burrow, I think this game is like they're going to be able to cover. That's the only way I think the Chiefs cover this spread.
All righty.
Next game, we have the Cardinals going into Dallas. I think this is tied for the game of the week, in my opinion. It's same spread, it looks like. Cowboys are -5.5. -5.5 in Dallas. Nick, what do you think here?
I'm going to keep saying it until it comes to reality. I like the Cowboys to the Super Bowl this year. I think that defense is coming alive. They got, obviously Parsons and Lawrence are doing good things on the edge rush, but I think kind of that X factor that no one's looking at is Randy Gregory on the other side of the line. Those three are they're putting so much heat on all the offenses and just disrupting. That's the best word I think for that defense. So I hate how the Cardinals don't have, their big playmaker in Hopkins for this matchup because it's definitely, two playoff teams here. So I think they might see each other again. Hopefully they, a little bit more even match, less injuries, but I like the Cowboys at home on this one.
Alex?
Yeah, I agree with you, Nick. I think that the Cardinals have looked lost without Hopkins in there. And I mean, granted, dude's like top 3, top 5 wide receiver in the league still. I know he's getting a little bit older, but still, when you lose a guy like that, I mean, it's not equivalent, but it's similar to like if the Packers lost Devontae. Like that offense is going to look vastly different without that guy in there. Cowboys definitely heard a lot of the noise these past couple of weeks from Jerry Jones and from Cowboys faithful about how they're on a slump and Dak is slumping. Dropped, 32 points in the first half on the football team last week and 56 for the game. I like them at home here under a touchdown against the Cardinals, who have been not looking great these last couple of weeks.
They've had some big losses. I mean, the Lions loss was only 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah. It's 2 in a row.
Yeah. I love Kyler Murray. I think he's definitely the better quarterback, but you just can't compete with that offense in Dallas right now. I mean, Amari Cooper is like their 3rd best player, which is insane to me.
Amari Cooper is not their 3rd best. Come on. You cannot say Gallup is
CeeDee
still
Lamb
3rd.
and Zeke. Yeah.
It's CeeDee and
He's
Lamb.
not getting as much work. I should say he's not getting the volume of offense. Maybe not the best talent, but
their pass rush is what's like
they have 2 defensive player of the year candidates.
Insane.
Yeah, it's nuts. I don't think it's going to be
clinched, right?
What?
The Cardinals clinched the playoff spot, right?
Yeah.
They're in. Okay.
I think they clinched, but they're competing for the number 1 in the division.
Yeah, I mean they can't get the number 1 spot anymore in the NFC, which they had.
No, like in there just to not.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, because right now they're the 6th seed or the 5th seed going in, and I could see them drop. I mean, I can honestly see them ending up being like the 6th or 7th seed. I don't think
they can be.
Can they? Are they at 5? They're completely stuck. Well, no.
Yeah, they're separated completely because the last 3 teams in contention in the NFC are the Saints, the Eagles, and the 49ers.
I know who has the head-to-head on the 49ers and Cardinals. Didn't the 49ers?
Yeah, but the 49ers don't they have only 8 wins while the Cardinals have 10?
Yeah, but the Cardinals could lose. I mean, I'm just saying if they lose 2 in a row. That's right. I'm just trying to like figure out a.
They haven't clinched the division yet. With a win, they do.
No, because the Rams are 11-4.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, but I'm saying Corey, you're trying to say they can fall to 6 or 7, and I think they're pretty locked at 5. Like they can only improve from 5, but they can't get worse.
Right. Well, regardless, I again seeing what the Dallas defense did. I understand it was Washington and they had some injuries on on their side of the football, but they looked pretty good defensive wise, and they're at home. Cardinals didn't impress me. I mean, against a Colts defense that was absolutely obliterated by COVID, and they couldn't move the ball. They had 16 points. So, and now they have to face a Cowboys defense that's like far superior than what what they faced last week. I think Kyler's going to have a really tough time here. I think he gets pressured. I think he turns the ball over here, and I think the Cowboys defense wins the game for them. I mean, their offensive obviously has looked good, but not like anything spectacular on the Dallas side. It's obviously been the defense and the special teams for them. So for that reason, I'm taking the Cowboys. They're the hotter team right now, and the Cardinals just look, meh. They don't look like a scary team to face in the playoffs. So I'm going to take the Cowboys here.
This is another game where it's really tough for me because I've liked both these teams all year. I've been on board with Nick with saying that I think the Cowboys are the NFC Super Bowl team right now. I would say, but I just think this spot isn't because this is like a buy low for the Cardinals, where this spreads a couple weeks ago. This would be either the Cardinal, it would be like a pick 'em, or possibly the Cardinals like favored. Like right before the Lions game, this line would have been completely different. And I think I just have to, and Kingsbury is like, it's like 12-3 against the spread away, or something after a loss or something. I saw that like it's something I saw today. It was like 12-3 after a loss away. I think I have to take the Cardinals. Like I still believe in Kyler. I think knowing that he needs to clinch. Well, they already clinched the playoff spot, but to win the division, like he needs to put the team on his back. And I think he's going to start running like crazy as he gets closer to the playoffs. I think Kyler sometimes early on, he doesn't want to get hurt. He's a smaller guy. But once it comes to like crunch time, he starts to run a lot more. And I think he kind of didn't he run a little bit against he had a big long run against.
He had four rushes, and one of those rushes went for 64 yards. So
yeah,
so
it all kind of came in times.
Yeah, so he's not a running quarterback. He has the capability.
Okay, he's one of the fastest quarterbacks.
He doesn't run, so you can't categorize.
Well, he was dealing with an injury for a while, and he's a smaller guy. I think he was trying to keep away from it as long as possible. But when he needs to, he does, and he can run better than most.
Saying he can run, but I don't think you can. Whatever, we'll move on.
Yeah, but I think I just have to go with the points here. I think the Cardinals are one of the best Super Bowl bets right now. Just for like, obviously, I think the Cowboys go to Super Bowl, but to like win the Super Bowl, you can get the Cardinals. You'll never get them at lower odds. I don't think they're at plus 2,000 right now. So I think they're one of the best long shot Super Bowl bets right now.
It sucks that they have to play the Cowboys.
Yeah, I got the Cowboys plus 1,000.
Yeah, but even if they come into the playoffs, a 5 seed, once they win that first game, you could see those odds wouldn't be 2,000 anymore. It would be down to like 1,000 or lower, or somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's just one of the best long shots. You can't really get many plus 2,000 playoff teams right now. Okay, next game we have the Dolphins going into Tennessee. We have the Dolphins on. Is it a 7-game winning streak?
8 now, I think.
8, I think.
Corey, remember what? Well, Nick and I
don't care. I really don't.
On the Dolphins, and you just kept counting them out.
Yeah, remember when you said like a couple weeks ago that they wouldn't beat the Saints after I
read off then you mean before Ian Book was going to be our quarterback before that?
Yeah, well,
okay,
just letting you know.
Sure, that's when I said it.
Okay, well, the Dolphins' offense is abysmal. Their defense is keeping them in games and winning them games here at this point. I mean, seriously, besides the Saints, okay, you can't count the Saints as a good team because they play with Ian Book. They beat the Jets, Dolphins, Panthers.
They beat themselves.
What?
They beat themselves.
Dolphins beat the Saints, Jets, Giants, Panthers, Jets. Bad. Okay, they beat the Ravens when they're good. Texans.
Raiders were not good.
Well, at the time, the Ravens.
Yeah, it was when the Ravens were on a
hot Raiders. All right.
Ravens.
Oh. They're not good either.
No. So I understand it's the NFL and you winning that many games in a row is very difficult to do. And
bottom tier opponents. I see.
Hats off to them. Yeah. So I don't think they're making they have a very slight chance to make the playoffs. I don't think they're making the playoffs. I mean, I hope they beat the Titans here somehow, just again to help the Colts out. The very slimmest of chances to win the AFC South. But if their offense can't pull it together, I think they're going to get into a situation here where they just flutter out. So I'm going to take the Titans here minus the 3.5. I hope I'm wrong, and then we can come back next week and be like, oh, the Dolphins are here, but I'll be happy. So regardless of what happens, I don't even think the Dolphins offense has to be that good to win this game. I mean,
they don't.
What's so special about the Titans defense? Like they don't really do much. And I think the best unit in this game is
Waddle could have an amazing game here.
I mean,
Waddle and Parker.
Yeah. Everyone's like, all right, AJ Brown's back, sweet. But I mean, you got a couple good cornerbacks that he's got to face now. So I think something that doesn't really ever get talked about and should is how good of a coach Vrabel is. I think he's one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. He's always putting a good, consistent team on the field. I like their playoff push right here, but I like the Titans here. I don't know.
I thought you were going Dolphins after.
Yeah,
I
whoa.
know,
What happened,
I know, I
Nick? I
know.
thought you got to be on the train here with me still.
I know. I just think that it's going to be a good game. I don't know. For some reason, I just think the Dolphins have just, put together a lot. Hats off to them. They've had a good season. I'm not a Tua hater at all. I think
I'm not either.
he's like a solid, consistent quarterback. He's conservative, makes good decisions, not too many mistakes. Like, I think he'll be fine long term. He's just not like that flashy playmaker that gets all the ESPN highlights. So, I think he gets a lot of grief for that offense, but I think that's more coaching in the run game than anything, to be honest. I don't know. I just like the Titans here at home.
This is a classic uniform game. The Dolphins, candy ass white and teal and orange uniforms against a gritty, hard-nosed Titans team. Titans at home, -3.5. Lock of the week. Put it in the books. Let's do it.
I gotta still ride with my Dolphins here. I thought that they could. I didn't think that they can necessarily. I think I would have taken a lot. Like they've won 8 in a row, and they still don't have like that great of a chance to make the playoffs. But they still have not counted themselves out. They're still motivated, and I don't. The Titans love to run the ball, and the Dolphins are very good against the run. I think it's a bad matchup for the Titans. And to get that hook at 3.5, the Titans, what they're bad against, they're also pretty good against the run, but they're so weak against the pass, which is what the Dolphins do better anyway. And so I think this is a bad matchup for the Titans. And I think the Dolphins could get the job done once again. But I'm definitely going to be on the Dolphins side at 3.5 here. It's another prime spot for Waddle to have a really good game. Devontae Parker could have a good game here. So yeah, I'm on the Dolphins. Next game, Raiders going into the COVID-ridden Colts. Corey.
What do you mean COVID-ridden?
COVID-ridden. We got Wentz on the COVID list, probably not playing this game. You're going to be starting Sam Ellinger.
That's okay. If that was true, the
line did change, and then it changed to -3, I think, Colts.
Yeah.
And then once they changed the protocol, it went back up, but that doesn't change anything about what Wentz is feeling and is still, probably not likely to play.
I mean, no one can say that because, yes, he's unvaccinated and he needs 5 days. So he's at the mark right now where he can play. And I think the reason why, the Colts didn't bring in a quarterback, Philip Rivers, like all this nonsense. Why? First of all, if the Colts actually thought they were in trouble, they maybe would have done that. But there's no point to that because they obviously think that Carson Wentz is going to be back in time for this game, especially if he's not feeling any symptoms. So Grant, he's not.
Do you know that? Does anyone know what he's feeling right now?
No one knows that. But the Colts obviously the Colts organization does, because if they obviously felt that they needed to win this game with an actual quarterback and not relying on a rookie quarterback who hasn't done anything this year, they would have brought in a veteran quarterback to maybe
who?
Yeah, like the Philip Rivers talk, like
that just because they're asking him doesn't mean he's going to come.
He's made it very clear that he might come back, like if someone were to call him. He said that earlier this year. So, yes, full tilt on Sam Ellinger? No, but the Colts literally just got their entire offensive line back. So Ryan Kelly should be back. Hopefully he is, with the sad news of his starter passing. He's been out the last 3 weeks. Quentin Nelson's back and Glow is back. So give me, what the Colts are going to do? They're going to run the ball. And
you don't think the Raiders?
Does the quarterback even matter? Like what changes?
Yes, they do. They matter more than anybody. What are you talking about?
Not for the Colts. I think this game.
Yes, they do.
This game.
Okay, Nick, answer this question. What's the Colts record with Sam Ellinger starting this whole year? What's the Colts record?
This game is Jonathan Taylor
Nick,
versus the
answer the
Raiders defense,
question.
and that's it. No,
Corey,
it doesn't
Corey
matter
and
who's
Nick,
back
what
there.
is the Colts record? If
Yeah,
anyone
Wentz
answer me,
hasn't
what's
done
the
that
Colts
good.
record if
It's
Sam Ellinger is the starter all year?
Wentz hasn't done anything to carry the Colts, PB. It doesn't matter if
He's thrown
playing or not.
25 touchdowns and 6 picks. He hasn't turned the ball over. He's just
game
been able
plan.
to
He's done a
manage
good
the game.
job managing the games, but he's
Yes,
not. He's
Sam
not been
Ellinger
winning
is going to
Colts
turn the
games.
ball over.
He's not.
Okay.
He's not winning games for the Colts. The
So-
Raiders almost lost.
He
to a
single-handedly
complete-
won the game against the Cardinals.
Let's not overthink this. The Raiders almost lost to like an entire third-string Browns team. Okay,
That does not matter.
Jonathan Taylor going to run down the throat of the Raiders, and that's it.
He will not.
Their
He
front
will not
seven
do
for the
anything
Colts are
against the
gonna shut
Raiders
the-
if Sam
shut them
Ellinger
down,
is the
and
starter.
that's it. Like,
If Sam Ellinger's the starter, Jonathan
All right.
Taylor's not doing anything.
Okay. I mean,
how much do you want to
Saying
bet on
that.
that? Like, that is the dumbest.
Tell me
statement
what's
I've
doing
ever heard.
something. Is running the ball 40 times for 100 yards a good performance in your eyes?
If they win, yeah.
If they win, then it doesn't matter. We got the job.
No, it is 40
All that
attempts
matters
for
right now.
100 yards good performance.
Personal
Okay.
stats do not.
If they
matter.
win, then yes.
yeah.
But
It's not. It's not even in the cards. Like, it's not
Okay,
like all right,
also-
Carson Wentz is going to beat them.
Okay. Also,
chance.
the Colts defense, Darius is back.
Yeah.
Raiders
The whole
defense
defense is healthy.
the Raiders offense, sorry, or the Raiders in general have played 3 backup quarterbacks in a row. They're like getting like the handouts here by, Uncle COVID coming through and wrecking teams. And the Colts have shown, Chris Ballard has shown why he is one of the best GMs in the entire league about building depth on this team. If they didn't trust Sam Ellinger, like I said, they would have already gone out and they would have picked someone else up to fill in the spot, just to hand the ball off. All Sam Ellinger has to do is throw the ball maybe 10 to 12 times.
PB, let's not forget the Colts just beat the Patriots with Carson Wentz completing 5 passes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
So
yes, but
Running backs
because
don't
they
matter,
still
though.
have to respect, like when you know there's a quarterback capable of still passing the ball, you have to still at least respect that.
On 12 attempts.
You're not going to respect Ellinger passing the ball.
okay, that's totally fine. We'll see one of the best offensive lines. They're
They're
gonna
protecting
dominate
a
this
pile of shit, so it doesn't matter. Like when you're protecting just a turd back there that can't do anything, it does not matter.
All right.
You know,
he's just
I
fine
will-
because he's
let's
watching
get to
the
picks.
Saints, and all they have is a unproductive running back. So, like, he's all upset.
My
Let it
Colts
be.
minus 6.5. Last time, backup quarterbacks do come in and make a difference sometimes, like, and people don't know what they're capable of. I mean, cue up
Don't
Tom
think
Brady.
Sam Ellinger is it.
Probably people thought Tom Brady when he came in, as they're like, who is this guy? So I'm taking off my
round
hand.
pick.
Colts are
We're
Colts
now
win
comparing
too.
Ellinger and Brady.
I was going to say, I'm not going to compare Ellinger to Brady, but I am going to go Colts minus 6.5 here because until some team proves that they can stop Jonathan Taylor in that offensive line and arguably the Colts defense when healthy, I'm going to keep riding the Colts. I think the Colts have a legitimate shot at the AFC Championship game too. I don't know that they got a Super Bowl in them, but they are wagging right now.
Yeah, I bet the Raiders money line as well. I got it. I think it's at 250. So yeah, I just don't see how the Colts. If Sam Ellinger starts, I do not see a way the Colts win this game.
They're
No
out.
matter
5
no
offensive
matter if
line.
every other player on your team's healthy besides him.
Okay.
So that's where we'll end that conversation.
Sorry, you have a sour taste in your mouth. Ian Book just.
Yeah, that's exactly the performance you're gonna get.
We'll see.
So that's some karma for you.
Okay.
Next game we have Eagles going into Washington in this divisional game. Eagles battling for a playoff spot here. Washington football team not looking so hot. We'll start off with Nick here.
Yeah, you never know what Eagles team you're going to get. Like, very inconsistent. They're very hard to bet with and against. I mean, you just never know who's going out there. It's tough, but I think you hit it on the head. They're playing for a playoff spot. Washington, I know they probably are still in the hunt, but
No, they're not. I don't think
they're completely out now.
They're not completely out. They're not mathematically out, but they're basically out.
Pretty much out. I think the Eagles just put it together. I think their coach is starting to call some better plays and play to their strengths of that run game. So they just got to get those RPO, simple checkdowns, commit to the run, I think they could beat Washington here.
Well, they might just have Boston Scott for this game.
Yeah, I know it's tough.
What's the matter with that O-line?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean it doesn't really matter who's.
he did all right last year. He had some big games down the stretch.
Yeah.
He's kind of stepped up when he's needed to. So
Hurts hasn't been since his ankle thing. Like he did the first game back, and then last game he ran the ball like once, I think.
McLaurin's still out too, right?
No, he played the
Is he
entire
back?
game against the Cowboys.
All right, never mind.
He just didn't do anything.
Yeah, I didn't see him out there, honestly. Complete ghost.
No one did really. He just. I don't think he got his first pass until Heineke left the game and Kyle Allen threw him the ball. That was his first catch of the game.
Okay.
Yeah, this is an easy spot. Washington, their defense has looked better, but they're just kind of imploding within. They're going to be in the market for a quarterback. I think Taylor Heineke last week kind of proved that he's a serviceable backup, but he's not a player that can lead you to the playoffs. He's looked good here and there, but again, competition wise, they weren't really playing anyone. The Eagles are looking good. Ertz is like up and down, and you just like, you scratch your head sometimes about the throws he makes or decisions he does, but he still has the capability of running the ball. And I think this is a spot, they're on the road, divisional team. Eagles usually play pretty well in interdivision. So I'm going to take the Eagles here -3.5.
Alex?
I told you guys last week, Eagles very capable of putting up 30 plus points. I forget what the spread was against the Giants. I think it was double digits. 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 10.
I really like what the Eagles are putting together there. I think they've got a good foundation with that offensive line. And I don't think Miles Sanders isn't a guy. I think
he'll be out.
I know.
Yeah, he's out.
I know.
Yeah.
If you let me finish my point, I'll get he's like, so him being out and Boston Scott being the guy doesn't really affect it all that much in my eyes. They kind of remind me of like a 49ers junior or 49ers light right now, the way that they're running the ball on people. I mean, just putting up 200 total yards on guys between Hurts and the running backs. This is a no-brainer to me. Like Corey was saying, Eagles -3.5.
This is a game where I'm purely betting off of like which version of the Eagles show up. I think if the good version of the Eagles show up, they'll win this game by a lot. It just won't be close. But Jalen Hurts, like there's times when he looks atrocious and amazing, like all within just rotating quarters. And if he ever has like a really bad quarter, or like the Washington football team's capable of, getting pressure and still, getting some turnovers to stay in this game defensively. And I think in a divisional game, they just recently played, I think I have to go with the home team in this divisional game with the hook at 3.5. It feels ugly. Like I definitely won't be betting this game, but I think I just have to go with the home divisional team and the points here.
I think Hurts is probably better with a little pressure on him. Just being on Alabama, he got a couple national championship runs in him. So, and he did really well in those games. So, hopefully that sort of pressure can translate here to like a playoff push and we see the best out of him. But yeah, you just never know.
So what side are you on?
I like the Eagles too, but I was just.
Okay. All right. Well, next game we have. We still have. I didn't realize how many more games there are. Jeez. Panthers Saints. Last game of the early games. Low total. 38.5. Looks like Sam Darnold is getting the start this game. They realized Cam Newton was definitely not it. And right now it's looking like the Saints are 7-point favorites on FanDuel, but I think you can get them at 6.5. Yeah, 6.5 on DraftKings. I'll start off here. I will definitely be on the Saints against this horrendous Panthers team. I just don't know how the Panthers move the ball here. Taysom Hill should be back. Like, if this is Ian Book, I'd be on the Panthers +7 all day, but it's going to be Taysom Hill. And yeah, I just don't know how the Panthers score points here. And Taysom, he's mobile, so they're gonna be able to move the ball between him and Kamara and Mark Ingram. So I just think and the Saints are very highly motivated. This is a must win to get to the playoffs for them. So I'm on the Saints -6.5.
It feels like Sean Payton's been like saving Kamara to me. Like he's not seeing the same type of volume that he has in years past. Is that just?
He's had a quiet year.
Yeah.
No, he started off. It's because when Taysom Hill is in the game,
He takes away carries. I get that.
he takes away carries. And when they signed Mark Ingram, because when it was just Kamara in the backfield for a little while there, he was getting all sorts of volume. But now with Ingram in there and Taysom, his workload drastically goes down. And then if you have a bad quarterback like Ian Book, you just won't do anything if you're a running back, even if you have a great offensive line like the Saints. Just if you can't move the ball with your quarterback, teams are going to stack the box, which the Dolphins did. They just sold out to stop the run because they knew Book wasn't going to beat them through the air. Probably what you'll see in the Colts game, but that's just a little comparison. But now we'll have Taysom and the Saints cover here.
I think Cam Newton should probably be thrown in jail for the highway robbery he did to the Carolina Panthers. He got $10 million to come in and throw like 10.
Wait, they paid him $10 million?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh
Yeah.
I mean, good for him. Get paid, dude. Good for him.
Yeah. He got his payday. He keeps coming out and saying like he feels bad, like he's not. Dude, you knew coming in that you weren't a quarterback. I mean, the Patriots didn't want you. That should mean something to the entire league if the Bills or if the Patriots are going to go with a rookie quarterback over you. So the fact that even the Panthers reached out back to him is kind of mind blowing. Sam Darnold, does it help him? Maybe a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. But they just, again, the Panthers can't move the ball. Saints offense, even with Taysom Hill, and the Saints offense is just not the same. But again, this is a low total. I think probably the Saints do win this game. I don't like 7.5 or 7 points.
You can do 6.5 on DraftKings. So I guess it's just which side you want.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't touch this game with a 10-foot pole. I mean, this is gonna be a bad game, but I guess I'll take Saints -7. But I don't like it, and I don't. Without their offense, knowing what they're capable of, but we've seen what the Panthers are. So
yeah, the Panthers are. They won a couple of games at the beginning of the year, but they're in that they're in that Jets, Jaguars, Texans category for me. Their defense was okay for a little bit there, but with Taysom and I'm gonna go Saints -7 here.
I like the points in a low scoring game, especially if it's this many. I don't see like a blowout here, so I'm betting more so on the close game. If I had to, but I like the under. I like the under, and I'll take the Panthers with points.
This is gonna bite me in my ass. I know it is.
The one time you take the Saints.
If it's Ian Book, it'll bite all of us because I would then be all over the Panthers.
Not me. I'm riding good with the Panthers here.
Yeah, then it would benefit you if Ian Book's in, but yeah. Next game, we have Broncos going into LA. Chargers are -6. We'll start out with Alex here.
Yeah, man. Drew Lock is not the guy. I had him as the lock of the league, and that did not work out well for me. I think he's starting again here. I don't care how bad the Chargers defense is and what the Texans just did to them. I don't think that the Broncos are going to put up very many points here with Drew Lock starting. I'll go Chargers -6.
This should be literally the Broncos game plan should just take Drew Lock, tell him to snap the ball and give it to Javonte or Melvin Gordon. That's the only shot of winning this game because
It's the Colts game plan with Ellinger.
yeah, I mean it's oh god,
Except Drew Lock, I would say, is like 3 times better than Ellinger.
Okay, well that's we've never seen Sam Ellinger play, so you can't say that. But I think Chargers have to win this game to make the playoffs. This is a must win, and the Broncos have a pretty good defense, but their offense is what's going to kill them this game. So give me Chargers -6 there.
Yeah, I'll take the starting quarterback against the bad backup, only for 7 points. Sure. Herbert's awesome. I mean, I know they're banged up over there in LA. It looks pretty bad. Loss to the Texans. That's tough. So I'll bet on the bounce back against a backup quarterback here. Give me the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm on the Chargers here. I think this line should be at least a touchdown against the Broncos. I know I've been on the Broncos defense this year, but Justin Herbert is still a great quarterback. I said I was on the Texans spread last week. The Chargers do tend, they've played down to teams and they've played up to teams. So, in this divisional game, it's the second time they played. The Chargers have to win this game. They're competing for one of those final playoff spots.
They don't have to. I mean, it's okay if they don't. I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, well, that doesn't matter for the Browns. The Browns have to win the division, I think.
Yeah, they can't. You have like
the Browns have to win the division in order to make the playoffs. You don't have a path to making a like.
It's a tougher path with a lot more.
I don't think there is a path. I think I did the thing. It's the only way they get the playoffs is if they win the division. But the Chargers -6 should be closer to touchdown. Drew Lock is bad. And
you know what? I think I'm going to make this my lock here. Chargers -6. I was just going through the rest of the games. I think this is a missed line right here. I don't understand why it's 6, like you were saying, PB. So I'm going to take.
I was really. Do you know what's crazy?
I'll go with you, Corey. I'll throw a lock in there for that.
No. Don't.
Nick's gonna jinx his pick.
No, you get out of here. This is my lock.
No, I think that's a good lock. I agree with you.
Oh, sorry, Corey. Your lock just got sunk to the ocean. With Nick.
Thanks, Nick.
But you know what's crazy? I just want to say, like, if you look at a look-ahead line here, I think this is crazy now. Look, because I just saw it before we did this show. You can right now you can get the Chiefs -3 against the Broncos next week.
Wow.
And the Chargers are -6.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I know why they did it. It's because if no one's competing for their number 1 seed, they could bench their starters and then but I think if the Titans win this game, which they're favored to, the Chiefs would have to play. They would have to win, the next game to get the number 1 seed. So I saw that. What?
It's absolutely crazy that the Titans still have a shot to number 1 seed in the AFC.
Yeah, it's between them and the Chiefs.
Henry could come back too, right?
Henry will come back in the playoffs, though, I think.
So,
but yeah, I thought that was a crazy looking headline. Chiefs -3 against the Broncos. But yeah, so you guys have 2 locks there.
Unfortunately,
and Alex has his lock as well.
All right, you don't want me to join your lock, Corey? That's fine.
No, not really.
We'll get another lock. That's all right.
Go somewhere else.
All right, next game we have the Texans going into San Francisco to play the 49ers with Trey Lance suiting up. Finally, they're letting Lance dance, and we'll see. What do we think here?
What?
Texans are hot. I mean,
oh, come on.
Plus 13, Davis Mills. I think it's his time to dance.
No.
Don't do this again. You did this. You've done this with
Sam.
You did this with Sam Darnold as the Panthers start out. You were talking about the Panthers making the playoffs. You did this with Mike White. Just, stop.
Right, the hot hands. I mean, one of these has got to pay off for me, right?
Yeah, it'll be Trey Lance.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
You don't believe in
the
him?
Texans team? It's still a little scary. I like the 13 points here. I mean, the over-under is 44, so you think that Trey Lance is going to put up 30 points in his first game? Not for me, guy. Going with the Texans here.
Why would they have to put up 30 points?
I mean, that's the over-under's 44. So
By total.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they could win. What are you talking about? They could win 27 to, you know.
could win 100 different combinations.
Yeah, I'm just saying
I'm
they don't
just
have to put
comparing the over-under to the spread.
Yeah.
like
So
I don't see it.
the Nick,
pretty
you're
common
taking
thing to
Texans. Dude, Davis Mills actually looks pretty good, and they won last week without Brandon Cookson. Davis Mills is like, I'm pretty sure he's the only rookie quarterback right now to have like 100%. It's like 300-yard game with like a couple touchdowns, and winning both those games, I think, or something ridiculous like that. Like he at that crazy stat, he's the number one quarterback right now. He looks good. I mean, the Texans might not have to go out and draft a quarterback or trade for one at least. They have something there with Davis Mills. I mean, so far he's been one of the top 3 rookie quarterbacks in this draft. I mean, statistically wise, I mean, he doesn't have many offensive weapons down there in Houston, and their defense is 49ers coming with Trey Lance. We'll see how good he is. I mean, it is the Texans defense. They're not the greatest. They give a bunch of points, and a shootout. Geez, 12.5's a lot for a rookie quarterback to make his first start in. I'm gonna take the Texans here at plus 12.5. I think the 49ers win, but I think the Texans cover this game.
Go on DraftKings and bet them then, Corey. They're at 13 plus 13. Get a free half point.
Taking money line.
That's what I'm doing. Plus 500.
I think this is a fade the public type of game. I think the Texans are going to be heavily bet by the public. I think Vegas knows that with Trey Lance coming in there and with the Texans beating the Chargers last week. I just see this as a letdown spot, and I think that the 49ers pass rush is going to give Davis Mills a lot of trouble. I'm going to go Niners minus 12.5. God, there's been so many big spreads this week. That's wild.
Yeah.
Well, I've Trey Lance, I loved before the season started. It was unfortunate that Jimmy G started over him. I don't know. This is tough because it's like the Saints are battling with the 49ers for a playoff spot. And I believe in Trey Lance. And now, I mean, his first start, he gets to play against a Texans defense. I think I have to take the 49ers here at 12.5. I think Trey Lance is going to be a good quarterback. Wasn't this the week that they found the GM that liked a tweet that about Jimmy Garoppolo?
John Lynch did. Yeah.
And he's like, oh, it was a Christmas Eve mass or dinner or something, and I must have accidentally liked a tweet, and it was like something about Jimmy Garoppolo playing terrible.
It was like leave him in
leave him in Nashville.
Yeah.
And then immediately after he's on the injury report for some thumb thing. I don't know. I think there's some crazy, just raving reports about Trey Lance in practice the last month, just been looking incredible. And I think he's going to have a big game here. They have so many weapons. I think Elijah Mitchell is coming back, so they'll have like all of their running backs to just filter through, just get them. They're going to be able to run the ball in so many different ways. Lance is an incredible rusher. I think the 49ers dominate this game. And yeah, the public are definitely all over the Texans here.
The thing is, do you think who gives them a better shot to win games in the playoffs? I think it's Jimmy G than Trey Lance.
I think Jimmy G is the safer pick or whatever you want to call it, but he doesn't have the upside to win you a Super Bowl, and Trey Lance does.
Trey Lance had the lowest accuracy for any rookie quarterback in preseason. I know it's preseason, but it's all we're going off.
Just wait.
So
just wait till you see him.
Let's see what a year waiting did. I mean,
we shall see.
We will see.
That's where he started, though, at the bottom.
Yeah, I don't know if you watched him play in the preseason, but he looked pretty damn good. Next,
throwing ducks. Yeah.
No, if you actually watch how fast he throws the ball, like it's crazy. He throws absolute rockets. The dude has a cannon of an arm. And
Dude,
sometimes receivers it comes in too hot. They can't even handle it.
Yeah, that's exactly what that is.
I'm not lying about that. Watch some of the games. He
All right.
throws absolute heaters.
Okay. We'll see
all
how
right.
well he performs.
Next
game.
game, we have a Rams going into the Ravens. It's still, I saw a video today of Lamar Jackson jogging, and he was walking gingerly on his leg. Like the coach, like he was, it looked like he had to take a shit. Like he was like running, like hobbling along the field. It looked bad. Like I don't know how he plays this week. But yeah, right now it's sitting at Ravens plus 3.5 at home. We'll start off with Nick here.
I like the Rams, little OBJ revenge game for him. I don't know. I think the Ravens just are not, they're not hot right now. They're pretty beat up. Defense is no good anymore. That's usually their strong spot. So Rams are still playing pretty well, I would say, right now. So
playing for that number 1 spot in their division too.
Yeah. I mean, both these teams are playing for something. It's a 2 playoff teams here. So that's not too much of a factor in there for this one. I like playing home teams this time of year, especially with a West Coast team going out playing
Not an early game
in the East, but so we'll see.
Yeah, no, this
So which side are you on, Nick?
Rams.
Oh, why'd you say you like the home team?
What?
I thought you just said you liked the home team.
He's got COVID brain. Just let me.
Yeah,
you had me all confused.
Maybe.
This is easy.
Fatigue is setting in.
You know what? The Ravens, I understand analytics told them to go for 2s those last couple games, but if
Corey, the Colts do that all the time. I don't get it. And if they didn't, they probably would have lost some games.
If the Ravens would have, yes, if they won the games, it looks good now. I understand it tells you to go for it every time, but I'm just in the broad. They would have been in a playoff spot right now, and they wouldn't be having to push Lamar out there. Lamar should not be playing this game. We saw that everyone saw the video. He can't run. That's the only thing he can do. He's not a good quarterback throwing the ball wise. He's a good playmaker. And the Rams have a pretty good defense and a great defensive line. The Ravens secondary is terrible. Absolutely. It's obliterated right now. Matthew Stafford's going to throw for so many yards. I understand Matthew Stafford looked bad last week, but everyone has bad games here and there. And if you saw what Joe Burrow did, Stafford can do the exact same thing. And I think this line is going to move. It's going to move because they're going to have to either Lamar shouldn't be playing. So give me Rams on the road -3.5.
Alex?
Yeah, agreed. Ravens trending in the wrong direction. Rams putting up 30 points with Stafford playing pretty bad. Their defense is going to give the Ravens problems. Give me Rams -3.5 on the road.
Yeah, I'm on the Rams as well. Right now, I'm probably making this my lock because I think this line is calculating that Lamar plays, and I think this line changes closer to 7 once he's ruled out. And if he plays, I think he's going to be severely limited on the ground, and he'll be forced to just sit in the pocket, which would be also terrible. So yeah, I think this is my lock of the week. I'm going with the Rams -3.5. Yeah, Cooper. They're going to be chasing for this. Ravens secondary is so terrible. They're going to be chasing the record here. Like Cooper Kupp should have a massive game. I think 2 out of the 3 receivers here are going to have a big game. Kind of like what happened with Burrow, where Chase had like 120 and T Higgins had 200. This is going to be real bad for the Ravens. If they lose this, are they done?
Mathematically, probably not. Just because how close the wild card spots are right now.
Oh yeah, because I guess
7 teams within a game.
Oh yeah, because if the Chiefs beat the Bengals, then it kind of cancels it out.
Yeah.
There's still 7 teams within a game of each other in the AFC, so nobody's really out yet in those 7 teams.
They're the 8 seed right now.
And there's some teams out in that. It's between a few. There's some teams that, like the Browns, have like a 10% chance.
We're not going to get into it.
Well, we'll get into them soon. Next game, we have the Lions going into Seattle to play the Seahawks. Seahawks just
It's like the
lost to
Dust Bowl of the
Colts.
week.
What?
This is like the Dust Bowl of the week. This game's terrible.
No, I think, yeah, I mean, it's one of the Dust Bowls. It's up there for sure. But yeah, they just lost to Nick Foles, but the Lions been covering all year, but I don't know. This is a weird game to me. I don't even know where to begin with this one.
I'm literally just gonna flip a coin and because the Lions almost won last week with Tim Boyle as their quarterback. They play without DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift probably is gonna be back this game.
Yeah, he will be.
Okay, so that makes me even like the Lions even more here. I think should they play DeAndre Swift? I mean, they're not playing for anything. So, I mean, I know he's playing for probably money and incentives in his contract, but as an organization, you want to keep one of your best players, healthy and not throw him into a meaningless game. This is probably the game that keeps Pete Carroll in Seattle, though. Like he shouldn't be there.
There is no way that guy's gotta go.
No, I know, but I'll just take the Seahawks at home -7. It's gross. I hate it, but whatever.
Yeah, I hate betting games that don't mean anything. It's like you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
I think it'll be close though, so I'll just take the points. No rationales either way.
Yeah, so the coin flip won last week in the Dust Bowl.
It hit.
It did. So we're gonna go to that logic again this week in another Dust Bowl. We'll go Lions heads, Seahawks tails, and we got tails. Give me Seahawks -7.
Well, I'm following the coin flip here, and I'm going with Seahawks -7. Yeah, I just think against the Lions team is like a prime spot for Russell to like actually have a bounce back game, and people will be like, oh, the Seahawks, they actually look good. This could be the Metcalf. It looked like last game. Like I've been martingaling DK Metcalf and DFS, and it looked like he was on the verge of like a blow up game after the first drive. And then I don't think he caught a ball the rest of the game.
No.
It was wild. But I think finally against the Lions, he could get going. And yeah, I just think the Seahawks can roll the Lions here. So I'm going to be on the Seahawks at home. Next game, we have Sunday Night Football. Man, I forgot. Actually, I thought I was saving my lock for this one. Maybe I'll have to change it because, I mean, this is it. It's primetime Kirk going into Lambeau at less than a touchdown. I mean, it does not get much better than this. Adam Thielen's done for the year. I guess Dalvin Cook's going to be back, but I mean, that doesn't, with Thielen out, that doesn't really matter. I don't know. Who wants to start off with this one?
I guess I will. I don't think this is
Jari Alexander's coming back too.
Yeah. So, the Packers almost have locked up the number 1 seed in NFC, which is bad news for any NFC team that you like, because going through Lambeau in this January, February, it sounds miserable. Aaron Rodgers, again, is scorched earth. He's pissed at everyone. And I think and the Vikings secondary, they looked pretty good last week. Their defense and Mike Zimmerman's, but this is
I don't think they look good. I think Stafford just looked bad. Their Vikings defense is bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's not great, that's for sure. But it is Mike Zimmerman. He is a defensive coach, and maybe he can scheme up something, but this is a bad spot, and it sucks. The Vikings have to play the Packers this late in the season again, because this is determining their playoffs.
The Vikings are what is their record? They're done.
No, they're not.
What's their
done.
record?
Same as the Saints.
Yeah, but they don't have as many tiebreakers.
They're the 8th seed right now, so they're ahead
Well,
of.
what's their record?
They're 7-8.
And they play the Packers and then
the Packers and then the Bears. So I mean, if weird stuff can happen that they can maybe get into.
I mean, yeah, this is a must win. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, they definitely have to win. And I think there's just just bad. So I'm going to take Packers here -6.5.
Yeah, I agree with you, Corey. Aaron Rodgers is going to make the NFL give him the MVP, as much as they're going to hate to do it. He's going to make them. And if they don't because of politics, then I mean everyone's going to know why they didn't if they don't. But yeah, I think they're going to lock in. If they win here, do they lock in the number 1 spot, or do the Bucs still have a chance?
No, they'd be 13-3.
If the Bucs win, they're both 13-3, right?
No, Bucs are 11-4. So
Yeah, so they would think lock it up.
Yeah. So at home, I think Rodgers puts it away this week, solidifies that MVP campaign, and I think he breaks out. Watch out for that turtleneck. If that turtleneck, that like white long sleeve turtleneck is on, that's live bet the Packers often. That's all I can say.
But yeah, Nick.
I'm going to be on the Vikings plus 6.5 here. I know it's hard to win in Lambeau, but Packers last week beat the Browns by 2 points, and they had 4 turnovers.
Yeah, that should help. That should not prove your point.
They're vulnerable to an extent, so I'm just going with the points here. Divisional game. I think Dalvin Cook back is bigger than everyone gives him credit for, so I'm going with the Vikings side here.
Yeah,
Plus it hurts the Saints, so how could I not?
Well, yeah, that's just dumb though. Yeah, I'm changing my lock. I forgot I was waiting for this game, and then I saw the Rams, and I like that one a lot, but this is just meets pretty much every criteria for me for like betting a lock. You have Kirk Cousins in prime time, terrible, and then you have Aaron Rodgers, who's trying to solidify his MVP right here, and he gets to face an absolutely terrible Vikings defense at home. He didn't like say he's going to retire after this year. Who knows? But he like said he's open to it. If he wins the Super Bowl this year, I think there's a chance he could. He said he wants to end on like a high. He doesn't want to go out, looking bad. He wants to go out looking like, I honestly think if he wins the Super Bowl, he might be done. But yeah, he's winning MVP, and he'll show everyone why again on Sunday Night Football primetime. And this is my lock, minus 6.5.
Lock it in.
Yep, this is the lock. It's moved off of the Rams. It's the Packers. Next game, final game of the week. This should possibly seal the Browns' fate. We'll see. It'll seal one of these teams' fates, I believe. One of these teams will be eliminated. Going into Pittsburgh, this could be Big Ben's final home game of his entire career. Bad spot for the Browns. What do you think, Nick?
Great spot for the Browns. Great day to win. Knock our most hated team out of the playoff hunt once again. We don't need to see that miserable team in the wild card getting blown out again. People don't forget last year. Let's go Browns. We got 8 starters back, I think, from the COVID list activated. So that's a big help. Starting to get healthy again. I think, this is it. Playoff push here. When you put Baker in a corner, he's a pretty nasty person to face up against. I think we'll see that here. And, as much as that shoulder's affecting him, I think he fights through it when you least expect him to. So big bounce back game here for Baker. Laying the 3.5 points. Let's go Browns.
Corey?
Yeah, no, I mean, the Steelers offense is so bad, and Big Ben is just hurting that team. I mean, they need to blow it up. Mike Tomlin doesn't deserve this. He's a good coach, and yeah, the Steelers are not. The fact that they're even in contention for a playoff spot is gross. They don't deserve it. They've looked bad, the last half of the year. So I think this is a spot where the Browns just run all over them. I don't think they give T.J. Watt an opportunity to rush Baker as much as they would in the past. And this is just the Browns have to win this game. So, and I'm cheering for the Browns. I don't like the Steelers. So yeah, give me the Browns -3. I am upset that this
3.5.
3.5. Give me the
Browns.
Browns
On FanDuel, is it 3?
It's 3 on FanDuel. So
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it's again, I hate watching the Browns on prime time because it's just they don't give you any excitement unless you're cheering for the team. But I like the Browns here.
Alex?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty boring game. But that being said, I think this is also Big Ben's like swan song, last home game. I mean, he's going to retire after this year the Steelers aren't going to pay him, and I don't think anyone picks him up.
Yeah.
So I like the home pup here. I'll take the Steelers +3.
Yeah, I'm all over the Steelers +3.5 here. This is an absolutely atrocious spot for the Browns going into Pittsburgh in prime time. This is when Tomlin usually, his primetime record on Monday night is pretty solid. Neither of these teams will make the playoffs. The Steelers win this week, they'll lose next week. These offenses are terrible. This is going to be a really low scoring game, but big, like this Steelers team is going to, like, that stadium is going to be absolutely crazy. This Steelers team is going to be there for Ben. And I think when you have Baker Mayfield leading the Browns offense, it's not pretty. So.
We almost took down the NFC champs in Lambeau on Christmas Day. We lost by 2 points. If one or two bad,
it was like a
passes,
back. It was like a back door.
And now you think that the Steelers are going to beat us? Come on.
Yeah, I do. I think if this is like in Cleveland, it's a whole different story. But it's just the Browns.
We almost won in Lambeau with half of our team.
You had like a back door type thing, like at the end. Like it wasn't like you were really going to win.
With 4 turnovers, we kept it close with that team. So I think that says something about this defense. And
yeah,
that's all you have to look at.
Big Ben also has historically always performed much better at home. I think you can see a big Claypool game here. That's my guess as to who gets it done for the Steelers. But yeah, I think they're going to let Big Ben they're going to throw the ball a ton. They're not going to go like conservative, like run the ball. They're going to let him throw like 50 times or some crazy amount this game.
I'd love to see that. Denzel's going to have a day.
Yeah. So that about wraps up the show. Teasers. Anyone have any off the bat here?
I like moving the Chiefs down to a pick 'em. I like the that one, the Chargers down to a pick 'em as well. And then I'd also take Packers down to a pick 'em.
Anyone else?
It's with all these giant spreads, may have to go back to the well on the big spread teaser here. It worked one of 2 weeks, so might go Pats, Bills, and Niners on that one, I think.
I don't have any teasers this week. I don't think there's any key numbers for me. So like the spreads are they're at weird numbers for me to do any teasers. So I actually have 0 teasers this week as of now. Maybe before the game start, lines will change, but for now there's nothing.
The Bengals feel good if you went from +5 to +11. That seems reasonable.
No, I don't like putting teams against Chiefs and teasers. The Chiefs are one of those teams that can just, beat the brakes off you if it goes bad.
Well, alrighty. We shall see.
Yeah, that wraps up this show. Forget, do we do anything else at the end here?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Well, that wraps up this show, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for the breakdown of the massive DFS slate. Lots of players in contention. Yeah. It's going to be a wild week. So tune in tomorrow. But thank you guys for watching. Please leave. Oh wait, is that on tomorrow's show?
That's
do the
tomorrow.
giveaway.
Yeah, but no. Yeah, but I don't think anyone did anything. So
yeah, we're going to have to announce it at the beginning of the show.
I'll put a comment on the video. I'll get the gift card.
We'll make that right at the beginning of the show so people can listen. So, all right. Well, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you tomorrow.